This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products via their new platform over at easewellness.com. Ease has had a very busy week this week thanks to the release of their new 2018 Ease Insights State of Cannabis report, which has tons of bits of data, information, knowledge, and wisdom that every single person involved in this industry needs to see. Never pass up great free data, and this is as free and as great as it gets. The new 2018 Ease Insight State of Cannabis report can be found over at ease.com, which is spelled E-A-Z-E, where you'll find helpful nuggets like the fact that first-time cannabis use in California grew by 140%, with baby boomers and women consumers being some of the fastest-growing demographic groups. CBD is hugely popular among legal cannabis consumers, as is the overall theme of using marijuana to boost your wellness. Besides that, Ease also has some helpful insights on geographic sales for cannabis, as well as product type and category. You really need to open this report up. One more time, just open up ease.com and look for their 2018 Ease Insights State of Cannabis report. Big thanks to all the good folks over at ease.com and easewellness.com for supporting the news and for sharing this latest report. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, January 25th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 652 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We start off today with news of a tweet. Yesterday, U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams posted up a tweet saying, quote, "No child should ever use marijuana. It is not safe for the developing brain and it affects learning and memory," unquote. Not long after that tweet was deleted, and 2 hours after he posted, Surgeon General Adams retweeted an edited version that carves out a little space for medical use. That new tweet now reads, quote, "No child should use marijuana products non-medically," unquote. This is top news today because Surgeon General Adams actually changed his tweet, suggesting that he got kickback on the issue from enough of the right people to retract his original statement. It's a pretty clear indicator of the strength of position held by medical cannabis, which continues to poll in the high 90 percentile in terms of support. Democratic state lawmakers in New Mexico introduced a bill yesterday to legalize adult use marijuana, setting up a taxed and regulated sales system along the way. The bill is sponsored by Democratic Representative Javier Martinez and would allow for home grow, the opening of dispensaries, and would create a fully licensed system for cultivators, processors, transporters, and testing labs, while also setting up micro business licenses and directing 20% of tax revenue to be put into reinvestment projects for communities that have been disproportionately impacted by the government's war on marijuana. Pop over to KRQE to click through to the bill itself, which is a good read. Hopefully, this will be popping back up in the news ahead. Wrapping up this week's top stories had us landing in Pennsylvania, where yesterday Democratic Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman announced a listening tour that he would be going on to gauge his state's stance on legalizing adult use marijuana. Lieutenant Governor Fetterman was joined during his announcement by his boss, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf, who won't be going on the tour, but who expressed support for it yesterday. Pennsylvania has made a ton of progress over the last couple of years in rolling out its medical cannabis program, and there are a lot of people in the state's government who are pushing for full-blown adult use. Chief among them, State Auditor General Eugene De Pascal. It might be helpful to know that neighboring New York State held a similar listening tour last year ahead of Governor Andrew Cuomo announcing a goal to adopt adult use legalization. If you do any kind of business in Pennsylvania, it's probably a good story to read this one in full today. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products via their new platform over at easewellness.com. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Ease is super happy to have their new 2018 Ease Insights State of Cannabis report out and public. It contains tons of data, information, knowledge, and wisdom gleaned from their mountain of customer delivery transactions that the Ease team has properly aggregated and anonymized. Ease's editorial and analytical team uses that base of data, which they combine with thousands of customer surveys, to craft a hugely valuable report on the modern-day cannabis consumer. If your business could benefit from having a better understanding of how people buy and consume legal marijuana today, then you got to read this report, which you can find over at ease.com. And as always, if you need legal marijuana delivered to you in California, you can use ease.com to do that, which Ease is very good at. And easewellness.com is where you go when you live outside California and need hemp-derived CBD products delivered to you through the mail, assuming you live in one of the 41 U.S. states where Ease Wellness is active. That's ease.com and easewellness.com, with Ease spelled E-A-Z-E. All right, time for the Blitz. California-based marijuana company Caliva just closed on its first round of funding, pulling in $75 million in venture capital from a number of investors that includes former NFL football player Joe Montana and former Yahoo CEO Carol Bartz, who also snagged a Caliva board seat in the deal. Caliva is a vertically integrated company with a retail line of products that it sells to stores throughout the state, in addition to having its own cultivation, processing, and dispensing facilities with more than 440 employees. Marijuana Business Daily is reporting that Washington state marijuana regulators are considering a plan to allow small cannabis cultivators to sell their product directly to consumers, much like beer breweries and winemakers do. During an industry conference in Oregon this week, Washington State Liquor and Control Board Director Rick Garza shared the news of the possible new policy while on stage with his colleague Steve Marks, who runs Oregon's Liquor Control Commission. You definitely need to be on top of this storyline if you're in Washington. Reason.com has a pretty cool stat leading this next story, and that almost 20% of the nation's state governors garnered an A rating by the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, or NORML, which graded the nation's governors on how progressive their views are on cannabis legalization. Last year, there were just 2 A-rated governors. This year, there are 9, with California's Gavin Newsom, Colorado's Jared Polis, Connecticut's Ned Lamont, J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan, Minnesota's Tim Waltz, Phil Murphy of New Jersey, Kate Brown of Oregon, and Jay Inslee of Washington, all being very, very cool when it comes to smart cannabis legislation. Open this one up to find NORML's list to see how your own state's gubernator fared. Canna blog is a valuable parsing up of some of the main bullet points coming out of the new set of cannabis industry regulations just released in California. We've touched on this storyline a couple of times recently as the rules that were just published were long and dense, so detailed analysis of the new regulations are just starting to pop up. This is a good one to read if you're in the Golden State. Tobacco company Philip Morris just announced that it would not be getting involved in the legal marijuana industry in the near future. Philip Morris CEO Andre Kalantzopoulos cited the fact that marijuana was still considered illegal in many parts of the world as a logistical and regulatory challenge, and astonishingly, considering the business he's in, said he wasn't sure about the science behind the potential negative effects of consuming cannabis. Really? CBS News has an interesting story up about the Canadian city of Hamilton and the unique take its police force is using in battling unlicensed marijuana dispensaries. In a bid to prevent the shops from popping back up after a raid, police locked and set alarms on the 4 shops they closed down yesterday, which came along with 25 arrests. Police say they hope the new surveillance systems left behind in the shuttered shops would also provide an incentive for area property owners to boot out any other renters who are operating their own illicit shops. And finally for today and for the week, Fast Company has a great long-form story up about Canadian cannabis giant Canopy Growth, which sits atop a few $billions in cash after garnering the industry's largest investment to date by far when it attracted the eye of booze giant Constellation Brands last year. If there's one story you read in full in the headlines today, you should make it this one, whether you love or hate the idea of big business being involved in legal cannabis. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again Monday morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily. Visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.